I walked into our new office and I couldn't believe.
I was very jealous. For him, it became uncomfortable because I was the one who would then, question a lot of things.
And I would always look to my right and I was like, okay, I don't have her right now.
It wasn't smooth ride at all.
Do you think it's the right time to go ahead and leave the job? What's the worst that could happen, right? We'll fail, but we'll start again. When we actually decided to start SQUATWOLF, we were really successful in our career and we were getting promoted every year. We were, making a lot of money. You go back to your family and you tell them, I'm gonna leave everything that I've built up till now and I'm gonna go ahead and basically, start a business. Of course, it would come from the place of care that they don't want us to fail and their default reaction would be, no, don't do it.
I remember that when we were getting the investment, we did the whole business case and when Waj decided to leave, so that became very serious because before that, it was a side hustle. The family was thinking that, yes, they are doing it as passion on the side, but they would continue their careers. Waj's dad and my family and his family, they actually realized that, okay, this is something real. This is something, concrete that they're going after.
Once they got the idea of what we were cooking in the kitchen and they got the idea of where we could go, they really came behind it and supported us with their heart and soul. And even beyond that, they were like, what else do you need? How else can we support? I've been part of founding teams in the past as well before I moved to Dubai and started working for Bounce, the trampoline park chain.
The relationship was very strong. Waj learned a lot from them.
Of course, when I went and I told them that, I've done something of my own on the side and it has had success and I want to leave this to continue to grow SQUATWOLF, their default reaction was also like, oh, we're doing so good over here. Let's just continue and don't leave us. And it was not because they didn't want me to be successful, they wanted me to be successful. But, them also being the founders, they also knew how tough it is. They were just being cautious and they were telling me, do you think it's the right time to go ahead and leave the job? They eventually, obviously really supported me with my decision.
When Waj went full-time into the business, I would still help him out on the weekends and we would still look for opportunities. So one thing that we started working on and started actively looking for was the physical experiences. It was very important for the customers to touch and feel the product and experience it in the real life. One of the very well-known exhibitions started happening in the region. It was called Dubai Muscle Show at the time. So we started participating in the active show regularly every year, where the customers would come and experience the brand in person. It was very important because that was the only opportunity where the customers could actually come and interact with the brand, with the founders, with the community. We found an opportunity to work with Fit Republic. It was one of the biggest gyms at the time, Dubai Sports City, and they had a retail space. And then finally the day came when we were setting up the retail space. I remember we had our family members as well. These were the things that we were working on, like physical experiences and building the community.
When we started the business, it was just two of us taking care of everything, right? From, starting from nothing to getting the business to the place where we could now start hiring people because it was just becoming impossible for us to continue just doing everything on our own. It was almost like you raise a child to an age and now you're just handing over the child to someone else to take care of it while you're doing other things which are also really, really important.
We started looking for someone who can work, who can be dedicated on the product side of the business. But we looked around in the Middle East region, in Dubai. There was no ecosystem for the local brands in the activewear space in the region. So then we decided, okay, let's go expand our search into Europe because there is a better ecosystem of sportswear industry overall and activewear industry. So we went ahead and we posted the position over there. We started the search and we found someone. It was a funny story. When she joined us, she told us that it felt like it was a scam. because there were no other brands that were hiring from Dubai. She was our first gym wear designer into the business, and she continued with us for a very long time.
I'd really randomly seen the job and I applied with it without really giving it so much thought, just like, yep, cool, we'll give that to the universe. I think it wasn't until I was on the plane where I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a little bit crazy. Like, I'd never even been to the UAE before. Worst case scenario, it's a scam and I'll have just had a holiday in Dubai for a week. Like, it's really not going to be that bad. But no, yeah, it obviously worked out well. This is a company that wants to grow and wants to do amazing things, and specifically for the region. Like, this is their home. This is where they're founded. So if you come in with that type of mindset, you're gonna do great.
Three important things happened at the same time. So the business was scaling. So we went international. It was 2020, and we were available, and the customers, athletes, were wearing us in about 100 plus countries. Second thing was that we started to think about me joining the business full time as well. And the third thing was we moved to our own office. Office was something that we were very emotional about, because it was our dream. It was a space where everyone came together and enjoyed every day together as a team. I still remember first day, it was like everyone was full of energy, so excited. Everyone came to the new place.
She kept it as a surprise to me. Like, I wasn't allowed to visit. I went into it and I walked into our new office and I couldn't believe that this is what we have created.
I was working in a multinational company, and I was taking care of Europe and Middle East as a region. So I had a lot of responsibility in terms of the countries that I was covering. And I used to travel a lot. So it was a very demanding job. It was 2020 when we finally decided that I will leave my career and go into the business full time. We disclosed this to both of our fathers, and both of them, they said no. They were very concerned that, it's a very successful career that you have. For them, it was, why do you need this risk? Why do you want to leave your career? It's a very successful career. You're progressing in your career well. What is the need? And the need was my passion. It took some convincing. It took a lot of discussions again. And then we finally convinced my father and Wad's father that, I will be joining the business full time. My heart was into the business from the day we started.
I think, and for me also, running it like alone was becoming more and more difficult as the business was scaling. I mean, like, I would have challenges, I would run into the challenges, and I still advise to every entrepreneur that's starting a business, like, look for a co-founder. Look for a co-founder and then actually think of even starting something, because it's not easy to start a business and you feel like the entire responsibility is on you. And I think if you have a shoulder to share, I think it just gets easier.
So when we moved to our own office, we both shared a cubicle. So it was a bit of a shock, of course, because one of the co-founders who was not in the business is now into the business. So for him, it became uncomfortable because I was the one who would then, question a lot of things. I would push him to discuss the ideas before jumping and executing those ideas on his own. It wasn't smooth ride at all. So it's not easy to work as husband, wife, and co-founders together, because you know each other so well. You have a very good understanding and a very good, strong relationship. But it doesn't help in the professional life, because you're very transparent in your communication. You don't put filters how you're communicating to each other, and it hurts. Sometimes it really hurts.